It's the peace of God that He's lodged on all of us, and He's lodged on the inside of all of us. Gave it all, each of us, these creative expressions on the outside. Live it out the way you want to, because all of this is me. But it's the very peace of God that's sitting on the inside. I'm informed, and we can go 30 years, we can go 40 years, we can go 50 years until you sit down and realize that I got the plan, or you can keep trying to work it yourself and bum fumbling.
See?
Ooh, bum fumble.
Right.
You know, but at the end of the day, it's all intentional.
No, absolutely. Oh my God.
It's a huge circle.
This is like at the point where I was before I quit my full-time job to pursue this. I was in that box. I could not get out. But the thing is, I could not figure out what jobs to apply to, what else to do. And that's when God, universe, whatever you, Holy Spirit, whatever you want to call it, revealed to me is that you're supposed to create it. I've given you everything that you need to create it. Speaking of, like, somebody recently said to Marion, they was like, I want to be on the podcast. And Marion's like, why? What did he say?
Ooh.
Patrick. Oh, Patrick, this is a shout out.
Patrick, just shout out. He said, I just want to laugh. He said, y'all have so much fun. I just want to laugh.
And it is fun. And I want to also say this too, to your point, Delvin. During the day, sometimes I make a decision not to leave and not to do any work. I just want to sit and allow my soul to communicate. Listen to my inner voice. I'm learning to slow down and be more present and breathe. And it'll turn a situation around. It'll turn perspective around. So, woo.
Yeah. And as I said, this whole journey is about treasure. It is the accumulation of treasure. And that treasure, again, is already lodged on the inside of us, but it's this discovering treasure. It is finding and looking through adversity, through sickness, through turmoil, through betrayal, all of that, and finding what is the treasure. I have no obligation to respond. I simply have an obligation to hear. I have no obligation to respond to this earth on how they think I should be handling a situation. My obligation is to garner what God is saying in this experience. The treasure.
The treasure. Because
I'm out here, and I think that's, again, the danger of social media. We're so busy trying to answer that we have not heard. And what I'm learning to do, again, as you said, is to get quiet, to hear, why am I here? What do I need to get from this? What am I gaining in this moment? And it is not about this moment. We're living in this moment, but it is for what is to come. What do I need now that is preparing me for then? But we can't get that if we're not going to be quiet. And many of us, I know I was, you get scared to get quiet. And a lot of this, I will say this, for those that are starting on this soul journey, the beginning parts of soul work is very daunting, because I'm going to tell you what it sounds like. It sounds like all of the negative you heard as a child. It is those voices. You're not good enough. You're not this. You're not that. You're not that.
It's those parental voices.
Yeah, yeah. And I think that is very strategic, because it is for you to decipher, what will you believe? Whose report are you going to believe? That is the initial state when you are right there. And that's the part we keep running from, because if I get quiet, I'm going to hear that this person said this. You know, when we talk about me being a gay man, like what they said about me being gay, you're going to hear all of these negative voices, because we are in this world, right? Mm-hmm. Hear all those voices. But once you can get through that phase and you can place what is true, what's not true, what's here, you are about to hit a part of the journey that's going to revolutionize your life. That's why it's so daunting. It's so scary, because at the entrance of the word, there's going to be light on all things, truth and lie. But now you got to decipher, what is me. Does that make sense?
It does. And you get to decide what you is or what you are. You get that power.
Yeah.
When you were talking, Delvin, you were talking about how we answer before we hear. And it takes me back to one of my favorite proverbs. Proverb 18 and 13 says that he that answers a matter before he hears it, it is folly and shame to him. And like I said, only a fool answers a matter only a fool judges a matter before he hears it. And it makes me ask the question, like, how many times am I going to be a fool? And try to answer before I really hear. And that's just not like any Listen, life happens, something happens, and we are so quick to want to give an explanation to everything because that's what our humanity says. More times than often, there will be things going on in my life, going on with me, and I won't talk about it because I'm not going to give the answer to it because I need to hear what this is about. Let me shut up because I might misjudge this and I might misinterpret this as being one thing and I'm going to put my mouth on it. And if I say it, then it is. You know what I'm saying? Let me shut my mouth up. Because how many times I done called something that wasn't really even supposed to be, but got the manifestation of that, what I called it.
Yeah.
Folly, shame, foolish. But if I shut up, and just listen to what the situation was saying, what the circumstances were saying, what the trial was saying, what our test was saying, what life was saying. If I just would have shut up and listened, then I could have called it for what it really was and not what I thought it would be.
That in-between time.
Baby, listen.
Whoever thought that in-between time would bless us so immensely?
Right.
Immensely.
We're not telling you to focus on the in-between time because we want to be nosy. But there's there's meat in that in-between time. And not only you knowing it, but you sharing it with other people.
Right.
Yeah.
You got to get it, man.
Yeah. And I think most of us have been taught to go through stuff and I'll understand it, I'll understand it by and by. No. He wants you to understand in the moment. He wants you to understand again he wants you to be in it so that you sit there and you understand, like, okay, I get where this is going. Like, I understand why this is happening. Now, I may not fully get it. For instance, with Men Lifestyle, what God has put in my heart, it was once Men Project. What I see now, I didn't see then. But as I begin to take on, like, okay, I got that piece, treasure, put that right there. Oh, there's another piece, treasure. As we keep going, as we get to this space of hearing, and hearing in silence becomes our greatest weapon.
One of the things that I realized with you is that you're no longer concerned with if people hear the same thing that you're hearing. You don't even try to put an explanation to it. Let's talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, I think that comes with understanding. Once you become acquainted with soul, as I said, you get through that first phase, then you start to realize, you begin to understand assignment and purpose as to why you were sent. And I always like to say it like this, if I could run through this real quick. I'm not good. That's going to take too much time. Anyway, yeah, assignment. And so now I'm so clear of my assignment. That now and again, that doesn't mean I understand what's coming in 2020, but what I understand, I'm so aware now that I pay attention to where I am right now, where I am right now, and what is my purpose right now in what I'm in right now. Oh gosh, right now I think I am in a very interesting space of what I like to call, if I could put it into words, it is a war. I'm in war right now. And what I mean by that is, right now, it is what I like to call risking significance. I'm in a war now where either I'm going to try to save me or go all the way. I'm going to try to preserve image or go all the way. I'm going to either believe what this treasure means, or I'm going to sell my soul to be conveniently reverenced by people as something. Yeah. So I'm in, and from me again being birthed in the Christian faith, I will reckon it to, I'm in the Garden of Gethsemane. I'm in that place of I can turn around and walk away, or I can move forward, understanding that death is coming, but also there's going to be a multiplication as well. And that's a hard place to be. So now I'm assessing everything around me. I'm at that place of, are these people for me or against me? Am I for me or against me? Is this what you called me to do? Am I crazy or not? Am I hearing you wrong or not? What did this mean or did this not mean? I'm in a valley of decision, a war, internal war, external war, a war. But I can tell you what, my decision, and it is going to be, I'm going all the way. I'm going all the way. And I don't care what my name will be. I don't care what people will think I'm going to be or who I should be. The purpose of my life now at this point, and I know that I'm right here now, is understanding that His purpose must be fulfilled. And if I'm not willing to risk it all, there will be no multiplication of what He's put on the inside of me. Yeah.
Well, honestly, guys, right now, if I can be as transparent and authentic as possible, that silence is okay. And I think what Delvin just said is speaking to a lot of our current situations. And at this point, it's either all or nothing. And we're going to end on this note and pick back up, because I don't want to cheat you listening on what this war could be and how this war could benefit your life. I do, however, want to say this. When we began your soul care community, I told God that I was ready to die trying. In other words, give up everything. And we're going to pick up on this on the next episode. Delvin, how can we stay in contact with you?
Instagram, DelvinEugene.Rhys. And the
So
same,
Rhys.
RHYS. DELVINEUGENE .RHYS, or at the Mend Lifestyle, MEND Lifestyle, on Instagram as well, and Facebook as well.
We appreciate you being here, and we look forward to finishing this conversation with you on the next episode. Be sure to follow us on Instagram and Facebook at Your Soul Care Community. And you can find us online at yoursoulcarecommunity.com. Our events are there, the conversation, different meditations that we have. And we hope that you will join us soon. If this episode has impacted your life in any way, we hope that you would not only subscribe but also share. This is Marcus, your soul care companion.
I know, Marcus, you're trying to end the episode, but I got something to say. And that is, after you finish listening to this episode, I want you to take, I'm not going to put a time limit on it, but take a few moments just to sit in silence and listen to you on the inside. Still yourself. Quiet yourself. Get to the center of you. Because for many of you, it is a war. However, I believe if you quiet yourself and you center yourself, without sounding too churchy, I don't want to say you're going to come up with the victory, but you will get to a place of peace and to smack that middle of your greatest battle, your greatest war. And when you get at a place of peace, then you will start to see a glimmer of direction. This is Marion Jamel, your other soul care companion. And
we'll see you next time.
Well, we won't see you. We go through this every time. We will not see you next time unless you show up to one of our events after you visit our website and join our mailing list. But until next time, we look forward to hearing from you before we have our next podcast. Have a good one, guys. Do the work. Work out your soul salvation.